Hello everyone, and welcome to Secrets Behind the Stars. All the details are right here in today's video. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and share this video so you don't miss a single update. Thank you for being here. Famous actor Akınözü has finally broken his long, careful silence about his former on-screen partner and once close friend, Ebru Şahin. Their warm camaraderie turned cool years ago, and that chill became one of the most discussed mysteries in entertainment gossip. Now, with Akın's new remarks, the entire story has taken on a sharper edge, and the emotions behind it feel more exposed than ever. They were the duo everyone talked about when they shared the screen, the pair whose chemistry could fill a room even in the quiet moments between takes. Fans adored their elegant energy, the playful trust visible in behind-the-scenes clips, the shared glances that looked unscripted even when the cameras were rolling. But over time, their easy closeness faded, appearances together grew rare, and the distance between them became a subject all its own. Why did two people who once seemed unbreakable simply stop calling? That question hovered, unanswered, until now. In an intimate interview that surprised everyone with its honesty, Akınözü spoke about Ebru Şahin without dodging the emotional weight. He described her as a singular presence in his life, someone whose laughter and honesty once shaped his days on and off set. He made it clear he wasn't just talking about a colleague, he was recalling a confidant. He said he showed up in difficult moments, he stayed late when the days felt too long, and he cared about her well-being more than he let the world see. Then, in words that seemed to catch the air, he admitted that sometimes care isn't enough. Sometimes you hold on and still find the ground shifting beneath your feet. Akin continued, this time sounding as though he was speaking to a memory. He stated that he never ran from the hard parts, that he tried to protect what they had, whatever label you gave it. He stood by his effort, and he didn't disguise the bruise left behind. In his telling, the final decision wasn't his. He wanted to fight for their bond, but, as he put it with heavy resignation, she chose to let it go. He emphasized he respected her choice even if it carved a quiet space inside him that never fully closed. The tone was tender, but it carried a reproach that sparked immediate debate. Within hours, social media lit up like a fuse. The fandom split down the middle, some praised Akin's clarity and vulnerability, calling his words overdue, a truth spoken without venom. Others pushed back, saying certain things are better left unsaid, and that even a gentle reprimand can sting when spoken under a spotlight. One common refrain captured the mood, if it happened long ago, why bring it back now? Yet just as many voices argued that time doesn't erase the right to finally share your side, especially when silence has done its own damage. For her part, Ebru Şahin has not given a public reply. Those close to her, according to quiet whispers, say she was genuinely taken aback by the bluntness of his confession. Some in her circle insist she's choosing discretion because she doesn't want to inflate a story already swollen with speculation. Others suggest her silence may be a boundary, a dignified refusal to litigate the past in front of an audience. Whatever the reason, her quiet keeps the narrative suspended in a delicate balance, leaving the public to read every gesture like a line of poetry and wonder if a response will ever come. Their past closeness and subsequent estrangement have fueled the tabloids for years, and now the stakes feel higher. Eyes are on Ebru, waiting for a few careful sentences that might give closure or reignite the storm. This moment could be the final page in their shared chapter, or it could tip open a door to cautious, hard-won peace. Only time can determine whether the tenderness they once showed each other can survive the weight of what's been said, or whether this marks the quiet end to a bond fans thought was indestructible. Let's rewind to why this matters so much. Akınözü and Ebru Şahin weren't just another on-screen pairing. Their performances resonated like echoes in a cathedral, deep and haunting, the kind that lingers long after the last scene. Their smiles in interviews, the comfortable way they stood side by side, the joking glances in blooper reels, viewers weren't imagining it. Rumors bloomed weekly, were they more than colleagues? The pair always deflected with a careful refrain, a promise that they were simply close friends who understood each other's pace. For a long time, that seemed to be enough of an answer. But the murmur never died. In the background, whispers claimed their connection had dimmed, that the tight knot between them had loosened one thread at a time until there was more space than thread. They stopped showing up in the same photos, skipped the hand-on-shoulder poses that once looked effortless. Even without confirmations, the public felt the temperature drop and read absence as a statement. The story turned into a puzzle, each missing citing another piece that didn't quite fit. Recently, after years of neatly sidestepping questions about his personal life, Akin yielded to the subject during a magazine sit-down. He didn't rush, didn't try to impress. He admitted that caring for Ebru once felt as natural as breathing, that their bond went deeper than playful banter. He recalled late-night conversations in the quiet corners of set life, support given without keeping score, and the way her presence could steady him after a punishing day. He stressed that he valued her happiness, even when it demanded that he take a step back. That interview took a turn when he spoke about the end. He said he did everything he knew to do, that he was ready to protect both their closeness and the affection wrapped inside it, but that sometimes devotion from one side can't carry two hearts. He shared that she was the one who decided to stop what they had from growing, and though he wished to keep building, he accepted her wish. It was not a shout, it was the soft thud of a door closing. He explained how you can hold out your hands to keep something precious, only to realize the other person has already set it down. The internet reaction was immediate and intense. Supporters wrote long threads dissecting his tone and applauding his vulnerability. Critics argued that recounting private endings in public, no matter how gently phrased, can cut deeper than intended. Many agreed on this much: it takes courage to speak, and it takes equal courage not to. The echoes of that sentiment ricocheted across fan pages, turning the story into a referendum on truth-telling versus silence, on the right moment to let the past be heard. Ebru's camp, if you can call it that, reportedly encouraged her to keep her poise. According to those who claim proximity, she listened to the interview in quiet disbelief, then chose to exhale, not explode. The mystery of her silence pulled the audience closer, urging them to search her recent public appearances for subtext, to listen to her words on unrelated topics as if they were codes. Is her quiet a refusal to be dragged into a narrative someone else authored? Is it grace? Or is it a line drawn for self-protection? No matter how people answer, her stillness has its own gravity. What does this mean for them now? The entertainment world has seen reconciliations grow from worse soil. A respectful greeting at an awards show, a warm smile backstage, a small comment that acknowledges the past without reopening scars. Stranger things have happened. Yet it's equally possible that this is the final bow of a connection that brought a lot of joy to a lot of people. If so, the story remains worthy of a gentle round of applause, not a bitter curtain call, and perhaps that is why the public is so invested in how this ends. Curiously, time has a way of making old stories feel new. For years people wondered what truly happened between Akin and Ebru. That curiosity hardened into an unsolved riddle. And then, without warning, Akin decided to hold a light to those shadowed corners. He didn't expose every detail, but the outline is clear: their bond was real, he tried to keep it, she decided to step away, and he respected it, even if respect came with a private ache that never quite went quiet. That ache now has a voice, and that voice has stirred 1,000 opinions. Their arc still reads like a script: two stars meet, a bond forms, the world watches, distance enters like a ghost neither can name, and then comes a moment years later when one of them speaks from the heart. Audiences love love stories, but they also understand endings, especially the kind that comes softly, almost politely. What people crave now is not a fight but closure, a sign that the tenderness isn't lost, that the past can be honored without reliving it. In a separate interview segment, Akin looked back on the era when every scene carried extra electricity. He described how success can amplify pressure, how shared energy can feel like a refuge until it becomes a mirror that shows you more than you're ready to see. He acknowledged mistakes, including the instinct to keep feelings under wraps, and the cost of not saying the hard things when the timing is right. If there was anything resembling regret, it wasn't about feeling, it was about silence when honesty might have helped. The most poignant moment in his reflection arrived when he admitted that loving something doesn't guarantee you can hold it. He suggested that endings can be kindnesses disguised as losses, that sometimes a closed door is simply a way of preventing two people from hurting each other more. He said he carried the good with him, the laughter on set, the memories marked with warmth, and that when he chose quiet, it wasn't indifference, it was a farewell he didn't know how to speak aloud. People heard those words and thought of their own goodbyes. So where do we stand now? The industry is watching, fans are watching, and the two names, Akin Akınözü and Ebru Şahin, keep orbiting each other in headlines even as the people behind them move through their separate lives. Maybe one day they'll stand a few paces apart on a red carpet and exchange an unguarded smile. Maybe there will be a brief conversation in the wings of an award show, a soft hello and a grateful goodbye. Or maybe this is the quiet final chapter, written not in anger but in acknowledgement. In any case, what they shared has already lived in the imagination of millions, and that is a legacy in itself. If you've been following this from the beginning, you know the arc, a cherished on-screen duo, a private closeness that fans romanticized, years of rumors denied with a gentle, "we're just good friends," the slow drift into fewer sightings, and now this moment where one of them opens a window to the past. His message wasn't a plea. It was a record, of effort, of care, of the inability to hold something that needed to be let go. Whether you side with speaking or with silence, you can't ignore the tenderness that still threads his words. And what of Ebru's perspective? If and when she chooses to talk, it will say a lot about how she wants this story remembered. Perhaps she'll simply wish him well, acknowledging that they helped each other grow. Perhaps she'll say nothing at all, trusting that her silence preserves the parts of the story that belong only to them. There is a kind of dignity in that restraint, a boundary that refuses to trade the sacred for the sensational. Until then, every photograph, every brief public appearance, every small gesture will be examined for meaning, as if the truth could be read on a sleeve. The fascination here isn't just celebrity, it's recognition. People see themselves in the way bonds stretch and snap, in the way someone holds on while someone else must go, in the way both sides try to be kind even when it hurts. That's why the discourse online feels so intense. Everyone has a version of this story tucked away in their own life. The difference, of course, is that these two lived it in front of a camera, and now, after a long hush, one of them has chosen to narrate his chapter. As we close, remember that the timelines we debate are lived by real people who wake up, breathe, and carry memories that still spark at unexpected times. The question of what comes next sits unanswered, patient as a closing scene that refuses to cut to black. Will this confession mark the definitive end, or could it clear a path toward a new, gentler friendship? We will be here to watch, to listen, and to bring you the truth as it reveals itself, without rushing what should arrive in its own time. Thank you for watching Secrets Behind the Stars. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and share it. We'll be back with more stories, more heart, and more clarity when the next chapter turns. Until then, take care and stay tuned to Secrets Behind the Stars.